keep it normal. Why not? All right, well, let's get started with tonight's show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wowhead Weekly number 167. We were just discussing a little bit earlier on how it's been over 7 months of me being here. It's pretty crazy. Time does fly. Anyways, if you don't know me, I'm Annie, or also known as Annie Fuchsia. I'm a full-time streamer on Twitch and also your Wowhead Weekly host. My co-host, as always, is the lovely Perculia.
Hey everyone! Great to see everyone. I am the site director for Wowhead, and I got a bright paw! Yeah, we got the bright paw. I have a cat. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's been a really big week for this site with all the traffic to our class guides and news covering things like chromatic swords, and we really appreciate all your support. And as always, I'm really happy to do this show so we can give you a taste of what's going on with Wowhead and more insights into all the news and data mining and guide insanity going on. And I have a cat who's awesome.
Aw, so. I can't believe he's actually sitting there with you now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually Brightpaw gets a little bit too excited to sit there, and especially today. Yeah. There's his cue.
Yep.
There's his cue. I also noticed that we have Sass with us here today.
Yep, we have Sass
Welcome
here.
back, Sass.
Oh, we are giving away Midsummer Fire Festival pin and a Noble Garden pin shipped to wherever you are as this show's giveaway, and the keyword is pins, P-I-N-S.
Ooh, a pin. Is there a way to see how this pin looks like?
Sass can make it happen, I think. But if you have entered into our past pin holiday giveaways, that you've seen what they look like. He says momentarily, so coming soon.
All right, awesome. But yeah, that's exciting. Get something a bit more exclusive.
Yeah, and with Sass back, it means that you can send any questions to him, and if we don't touch on it during the show and we can answer it, we will answer them at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to ask questions. We will take care of them as soon as we can. I think we handled it okay without Sass. You know, we were a little bit crippled, but I think we managed to answer most questions and pick them up. Those of you guys who we missed, we're sorry. But I think we did okay last time.
Yeah, I mean, we did fine.
Yeah, I think the way that people have been spelling pins is fine. If it wasn't, I'm sure Sass would have corrected you guys. So
yeah.
I think you guys are good.
Yep.
I think you guys are good. All right, so pre-patch is here.
Yeah.
What's the first things we need to think about with pre-patch being here?
So, first you should enjoy the new login screen because it's very new, and the nice new login music. You should then update your add-ons. The Wowhead client as well is updated for patch 8.0, so if you want to help the site get data for things like drop rates, you can. You should then take a look at our guides for gear and talent because all of your artifact traits are gone and that has affected talents, so you should set your character up. If you like PvP, you should turn on war mode in a capital city and select some new war mode talents because honor talents are no longer a separate thing. As part of that, if you like Prestige, you should log into every single alt because Prestige is account-wide now. So if you log into all the alts, your number just keeps going higher. You should then see if you want to change your skin color. Go to the barbershop to change the Orc Upright Posture or things like Blood Elf Golden Eyes. You should get your Mythic Plus cash because everyone gets a free 1,000 Awakening Essences, and we now care about cool. Yeah, we now care about the Awakening Essences because you can buy specific legendaries in the pre-patch.
Your sound went down for like 2 seconds, but then it went back up again, so it's okay. Everything's fine.
All right.
Still curious why that happens sometimes, but yeah, you're good now.
I have no idea. So yeah, you want to buy specific legendaries, and we have guides for making the legendaries. And to get more Awakening Essences, a lot of sources that rewarded artifact power now reward essences like world quests. So those world quests that you were farming for lots of AP will now give you Awakening Essences.
Indeed.
And things you should look forward to, there are new toy mount and pet collection rewards. So,
Mm-hmm.
for 350, 400 mounts. You can keep earning honor for new prestige rewards, like the prestigious Bloodforge Courser. And the thing which you cannot do is the Burning of Teldrassil questline, because that starts on July 24th, not this week.
No. Yeah, a lot of people were asking me about the same thing. Like, what happened? Like, aren't we supposed to get a new quest line? No, that starts next time after maintenance. And probably for good reason, like people should probably get used to the changes, check out how their classes and specs have changed. And also just for the servers and everything to stabilize a bit better as well.
Yeah, this patch also started up the communities feature. And I think that caused the instability because it was down for US much of Tuesday, and they announced for EU's launch that communities would be disabled. So, that was kind of a new ambitious chat program on Blizzard's end, and I guess, the launch of it was kind of bumpy, so they have a week to iron out all the issues, and then hopefully have the story component go smoothly.
So for NA, when the patch went live, communities was available, but just not, the patch wasn't working.
Yeah, it made the patch not work.
So that's why EU was so smooth. They just disabled it completely. Okay. Yeah. But now it's all working again since today?
I believe that they are slowly bringing them back on.
Okay.
A few hours ago, they said they were testing it on some US realms.
Because I think I tuned into a stream today and they were doing communities. So I guess now it is live, at least for NA. I'm not sure about EU. Maybe EU as well. I haven't had time to take a look. But yeah, some people in chat are mentioning that it's up on US but not EU.
Okay. Well, maybe they're testing it out, I think, on high traffic realms first.
All right. Oh, and that's another thing. Apparently, they discovered that the cap for these communities is 200, and a regular guild is 1,000, right? So it feels like it's probably just not complete yet. I don't think they would make something that can take more people and then limit it more. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Wowhead Content Chat was also saying that you have to join on all your alts, so it's not account-wide. So that's like another extra tedious step if you just want to have a group of friends you do anything with regardless of the character you're on. You have to keep rejoining stuff.
Wait, you still have to do that. You have to join on multiple characters.
Exactly. And people are thinking like, oh, if this was like Discord, I could just like
come once,
join make a thing being like, group with my PvP buddies that I just do PvP with on all my alts, as opposed to like, let me rejoin all these. So yeah, definitely some growing pains, but it is a brand new feature, so
yeah, I'm sure they'll work on it. Yeah, I think there was even a tweet linked here by Night Swifty where they did mention 1,000. Yeah, there's no reason for them to make a guild and then make a new like a new system called communities, which is then more limited. Like the point was to make them less limited, so that you can be part of multiple communities. So I don't think they would suddenly make it more limited. So I would probably expect the opposite. Maybe start with 1,000 and then probably maybe expand it more later on. You never know.
Considering that they mean in the last year or so they expanded the friends list cap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I can see them definitely increasing that in the future. Probably just focusing on, making it work in the first place so it doesn't crash their servers anymore. Apparently, because he mentioned it on the Q&A, right? I think I saw this bit of it where he talked about how there's certain characters that don't even have a Battle.net account connected to their accounts because their characters have been offline for so long. And apparently these accounts were causing some of the issues, which which was making the servers not stable with the communities. Is Wowhead going to have a community? That's a good question.
We probably will, but we found that for the type of people that like being part of things, Discord serves people's needs really well, with things like the webhook and just the way people like linking information, and Discord presents it nicely. But, we'll try setting it up. I also think that, are they region specific? Like, can EU people have US people as part of it? Because
I don't think so.
Wowhead's pretty international, so.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like, I would definitely be part of the EU one if there was one, but I wouldn't be a part of the NA one.
Right, so it'd be hard if you had, like, a stream community one, because you have a lot of viewers in NA as well that could not participate in that community.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, maybe these work better for individuals and guilds. Like maybe we're sort of not the target audience for them, with like a sort of like a wide ranging group of fans as opposed to like a group of maybe like 5 casual people that meet in one Blizzard game and want to play a different game together. So.
Yeah, I mean, once I get into the community stuff, like if I do find it like cool to use, and if I feel like there might be a need or a demand or a wish to have a Wowhead community, I wouldn't mind, getting one started for people. But for now, I think I'm just gonna be experimenting and see what we can do with these communities.
Yep. Wow, Brightpaw does not want to be held.
I can't believe you actually managed to hold him, though. Like, his energy today has been insane. Oh,
yep.
There he goes.
I'm trying to have him not sit on the keyboard, which I'm slightly failing at. Don't you want to be on camera? He's all energetic because tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of him showing up, so.
Oh. He knows. It's his big day. That's what's happening.
Yep. I remember the first Wowhead Weekly we had him on. He was this like little kitten just running all around. So.
Yeah. That's cute.
But yeah, so besides Brightpaw, we had a Q&A today. And it touched on a lot of different points. We have a live blog that covers all topics, but there are obviously some more highlights with it. So one highlight people have been asking is about Azerite armor. Azerite armor will not be tradable. They don't want people to feel pressured to trade away and upgrade. I know there was some questions about this because there were some sources of loot that people felt they could trade between previously. So like, if I can get loot from this source and I can trade it, does that mean that the Azerite can be traded? But so that is a hard no. They said that there's more to be revealed regarding the Horde storyline, which I'm very curious as to this big reveal because as we've been covering, a lot of the actions so far seem to present the Horde as the aggressors and kind of crossing lines. So hopefully they can make that more subtle or morally gray, not like dark gray.
Yeah, like I feel like him mentioning that means that maybe there'll be something surprising.
Yeah, so we'll talk about this a little in Warbringers, but I had this, after seeing the trailer, I had a crazy theory that, with the way the art looked, I thought one of the features is on Ashara, and I had this crazy idea that maybe Ashara was involved in Teldrassil, not Sylvanas, because, like, Ashara doesn't like the commoner night elves, and she's, like, the queen of the sea, and Teldrassil is an island, and like Sylvanas is really far away from the island, and just the way it was visually set up with parallels with some of Ashara's pictures.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe, I don't think Sylvanas obviously deciding to attack Teldrassil and wanting to kill a leader is amazing, but it would put a twist on things if some unseen force was behind it. Indeed.
Yeah, we'll be looking at that cinematic a little bit later on as soon as we talk a little bit more about the Q&A.
Yeah. We learned that the camera anchor was standardized across all races, and that's most notably visible on short races like goblins and gnomes. We put a separate post on this, which I get all teared up thinking about, but so the Beastmaster Hunter pet is tied to the artifact, but perhaps in the future we will see more of Hati. And everyone is super sad. I mean, I got my little cat in front of me that, we had this pet, and we saved the pet, and it followed us around, and, like, it basically died after we helped save it.
Yeah.
So it's super sad, and everyone's like, I want closure with this story. And
they did sound like they're gonna do something, like, because there was no, like, not sure how we're gonna do it. It was more like, definitely looking into how that's going to happen or something like that.
Yeah, they said, understand the bond between Hati and Hunters. He's tied to the artifact. Nothing to announce, but perhaps we haven't seen the end of him. Yeah. And then I think the narrative designer, sorry for the brightness, said, uh, let's see. So someone posted fan art of their void elf hugging Hati, and he replied with, "As I look upon this lovely and heart-wrenching image, my real-life pup is curled up under my desk staring at me, right in the feels. Don't
Oh,
worry, you'll see Hati again. Just give it a bit of time."
yeah.
So I hope that
So
doesn't
don't
mean
worry, guys.
I hope that doesn't mean like if our character dies, we see Hati in heaven. I hope that means
Oh
that.
my god. Yeah, no.
I hope that
Like, you
means
can only see Hati if your character is dead. You can see it in the ghost world. No, that would be awful.
you're right.
No, I believe it's gonna be something pretty.
Yeah, so I hope it's like a very serious, impactful quest line. Like I remember back in Warlords, they had that long quest line to tame the spirit beast, and you had to get like the special offerings for it, and like make an altar in Shadow Moon Valley, and do a bunch of steps before you could tame. I think that was Gara. So I imagine there'll be something very serious and
A special
sentimental.
quest line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I also think it's gonna be some kind of special quest line for hunters.
Yep. Sorry, Brightpaw, I have to move stuff now. There's a keyboard in my lap.
Also, a lot of talk about transmog.
Yeah.
I think there's,
So
they even made a blue post, right? Where they talked about the more specifics of transmog pieces.
yeah.
They mentioned
So
it in the Q&A.
right. So fist weapons are complicated because you can't really transmog to anything using a fist weapon, and Feral Guardian Druids are kind of bummed because grats, their artifact is a fist weapon.
Yeah.
So they're looking to have more restrictions. So if you're using a fist weapon, you can swap to a dagger or a sword, because everything else is better. Like swords, axes, and maces you can interchange, but not fist weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And they also were talking about legacy loot. There was some confusion at first because in the initial patch notes it said that legacy loot activated if you were 10 or more levels above the content, but it's 11 or more, which means that it doesn't work in Warlords content right now.
Yeah, and a
But
lot
it
of
will in
people
the
are upset
future.
about that too, because
Right.
this means people can't farm Legion content either once BFA is out.
Right.
So that means if you are one of those people who was like, okay, no worries, I'll just farm LFR Legion back when I'm 120, now you won't be able to do that because you'll go back and you'll be looting one item. Actually, apparently you'll still get 2 pieces of loot per boss, but it's still not the same as having legacy loot.
Right. I think that's the major things from the Q&A. Obviously, there's lots of more specialized topics that we're not highlighting now, but they're still important. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess this is the bonus of random dungeons has changed to a weekly bonus. Why the nerf? That is a bug. So you will get more rewards from random dungeons in the future.
Oh, has it been decreased?
Yeah, it went from daily to weekly as a display
okay.
bug.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. Did they specify the legacy loot mode being 11 or more in the Q&A? I'm not sure if I picked that up.
yes, legacy
So it's
loot
intended to be 11.
Yeah, legacy loot was recently changed to be listed as more than 10 levels instead of 10 or more. What's the reasoning? It's always intended to be more than one expansion, but once an expansion is no longer current, you will always get a minimum amount of loot from them. For example, even if you're soloing Legion raids in BFA, you'll still be getting a minimum of 2 items per boss on personal loot. Once an expansion is completely soloable, that's when legacy loot mode kicks in.
Maybe 2 items of personal loot isn't too bad. No,
Yeah.
it's still bad because it still means that you have to, like, if you're a mage, for example, that means that you'd still need a warrior or something else to get like a strength weapon. Although in Legion we didn't really have a lot of weapon drops because of our artifact weapons.
Right.
So maybe it's not too bad for Legion.
Right. At least, I mean, with BFA coming so soon, while Warlords is not part of the system now, as we all start leveling, Warlords will be eligible very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like right now, Warlords is 100 and we're 110, but
As soon as we hit 111. it's fine.
Exactly, we'll be good.
Yeah, because like Warlords is an older expansion where we actually did loot weapons. So over there, I remember needing to, ask hunters to come in for like an agility staff or druids for that matter. And I think that's the most annoying part, especially if you don't like have a community who's, willing to help you. If you need something that's not a class that you are, it's hard to farm that piece of transmog. And if Legion is personal loot, that means that you won't be able to get those pieces of items without, having to ask someone to join you. And but like I mentioned before with the weapons, maybe it's not that big of a deal because there's no real weapons in Legion, or not many at least. Because of the artifact weapons, there weren't many weapons on the loot table.
Right. I also feel that Warlords being opened up as you level will be good timing because with the Magheart Orcs, there is suddenly more of an interest in Draenor style weapons and armor that maybe there wasn't previously. So like if you want to be rolling your, Blackrock Orc, you can, when you're 120 and you can finally unlock the Magheart Orc, you'll be able to then go back to Warlords and start collecting, all those cool sets, from Blackrock Foundry and Hellfire Citadel that could be themed for your alt.
Mm-hmm. Something that I could recommend people if you want to go back and farm Legion in BFA is to create groups for it. Like create a group, be like, hey, like all cloth. Not necessarily for everyone to give it to you, but if you have like a group of 25 people, then maybe not everyone will need every piece of loot, and then you could like trade with each other. Maybe you get something that people need and you don't, then you can trade that away. Things like that.
Yeah, I'm making faces not because I disagree, but because Brightpaw's claws were getting very sharp, and he's kind of gnawing on my arm.
No.
Brightpaw, you're making me look like I'm unhappy with Annie, but I'm not, so stop eating my arm. And my nice sweater. Now my sweater will have holes all in it. You should stop.
Oh, look at that.
I know, and he's gotten the headset cord in it, too. So
he's wild today.
Brightpaw. Come on, Brightpaw. Come on. You muted me. Come on. Okay.
Like
why
a full bite. Like...
why don't we swap to Warbringers? I can maybe... Oh my god!
All right, yeah. Let's as Brightpaw is taking over Perk's camera.
Oh my god. We can show the cinematic.
Yeah, we can move from the Q&A, on to the Warbringers animated shorts.
Yes.
So you guys may have not seen the little teaser or trailer yet, so let me show you guys. I love this. When I saw it the first time, I had to watch it again. So I watched it on stream, and I was like, wait, that was way too fast. I need to watch it again. It's so good.
I love the visuals.
Yeah. So we know that the shorts that are coming are or will be based on Sylvanas, Ashara, and Jaina. We don't know the dates of these, right, Perk?
No, we don't. They just say, coming soon. If I had to guess, I would say that the Sylvanas one, or whatever is the burning of Teldrassil, will probably come sooner. And if Ashara is the end boss of a raid, she might come later whenever they announce the raid in more detail. And Jaina can maybe be in the middle because it seems her visuals reference a quest line that you have to be max level to do in BFA. So I don't know if they'd want to spoil that right now, but we'll see. But yeah,
you had some comments on the art, right?
Yeah, so I really I liked the visual parallels between all three animated shorts and how they were edited together to kind of create a cohesive narrative, and one could almost think, if you weren't familiar with the lore, that this was sort of part of the same universe or timeline. So for example, one thing I found really interesting was that the arcane explosion behind Ashara has a similar visual composition to Sylvanas standing in front of Teldrassil, where the character is in the center, legs apart, very far off in the background, kind of tiny, and there's that same kind of explosion behind them. And then you have things like the sword or the rocks really, close in the foreground, but then a lot of empty space in between them. So I just found those very similar and interesting. Also, the choice of the yellow tulips for Sylvanas and how that turns into the eerie gold of her battlefield, which is paralleled in Jaina's boat journey. The blue of the creepy Ashara water transitioning into the shots of Jaina in the boat. The shot of the Alliance and the Horde fighting in Jaina's vision, transitioning into the elves fighting by Sylvanas. And those creepy eyes, which I don't know what they're part of, but that color scheme of the creepy eyes is making me think of the color scheme of the burning of Teldrassil. I have the black background with the golden orangey dots popping up. So I just found all this really fascinating, and I started to wonder if maybe the burning of Teldrassil wasn't part of Sylvanas' short, but Ashara's short, just with how Sylvanas is it seems to be focusing a lot on her transformation at the hands of Arthas, and the color scheme is very tight, like gold alive, blue dead. And it just was almost making me wonder if, because we have this explosion with Ashara, maybe the start of Ashara's will open with an explosion and then, close with a tree explosion. And Blizzard did do a spotlight on Gul'dan for Legion, and I feel like Ashara is kind of the parallel, how we see Ashara's origin story and almost made me feel sorry for her, and then we see kind of the bad stuff she's been doing. But I mean, I could be wrong. We could have.
It would be crazy.
Yeah, we could have Sylvanas being sympathetic, and then we see the tree at the end, so maybe she became like Arthas. I don't know, but I think it would be crazy if it was Ashara, because she doesn't she was all about the highborn and the elitists, and here are all these, common night elves doing their thing, and, it's hard to imagine how Sylvanas being on the shoreline could have blown up the tree logistically. I don't know, maybe she shoots an arrow and it goes really far, so you have to wonder if there's some underwater interference, and we know that Ashara was creating trouble in Bashir, and also was meddling in some of the Horde storyline in Battle for Azeroth, so she could be doing something, to those Night Elves as well, how did they survive without me, and made a mockery of my empire that was so elitist and wonderful, and now they're all, dirty tree huggers that didn't follow the arcane type thing.
And maybe this could also be part of tying into what they mentioned on the Q&A, that there's more to the Horde story. Because maybe, as you if it is Ashara who is responsible for the tree burning, maybe we see a surprising point of view from Sylvanas, where she's no, that's not what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to stop them, but not burn the whole tree, So maybe we would see something like that.
There's a reaction shot where you see Sylvanas kind of looking at the tree burning, and she always kind of has this mysterious expression on her face, but she doesn't look happy to see it burn. She does look pretty surprised by it.
Yeah.
So,
speculations.
Yeah, speculation.
We will know on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I think for us in EU, it's a day later, so that means I can't play it myself without getting it spoiled, so I'm going to have to watch someone play it.
Well, it could be even later because it's staggered, so the first part's the 24th and the next part's the 31st, so...
That's true.
Maybe we won't actually see the tree burn, but oh my god, it was super... I'm relieved we have an extra week, but it's very painful and anxious, because it's oh no, the pre-patch is tomorrow, I need to say goodbye to the tree. Yeah. It's okay, only an extra week, but now it's Thursday. It's oh god, we lost 2 days. There's only 5 more days until the tree goes away. So if you are a night elf, this is a very sad, painful countdown for you. So yeah, I think that's about it with the animated shorts. We haven't seen more of them since then. But I'm very curious to learn more about them whenever Blizzard releases them.
I'm very curious to see them as well.
Yeah.
On to our next topic tonight is personal loot. A lot of people had a lot of questions about personal loot because, like, even I was a bit confused when I went into a raid. I was like trying to switch between the loot modes, and there's just no option. It's automatic.
Right.
Like
Yep.
you can't change the loot mode whatsoever. It's just you walk in and there is a loot mode set for you. And the idea is that all raid loot is personal loot. And with all the old content, we have, as we mentioned earlier on, something called legacy loot.
Right. So, how personal loot is working is that it drops more items than master loot. You can trade any piece you receive if you already own a piece of that same slot with higher item level. And on normal and heroic, every additional player above 10 that is in the raid adds an additional 20% chance for a boss to drop another piece of gear. There was some, we'll get to in a second, but there was some issues with the Uzul amount that have been resolved. But just to discuss legacy loot quickly, as we mentioned before, legacy loot works on instances that are 11 or more levels below you, so not Legion and not Warlords, but Warlords will open up fairly quickly.
So when we say that all raid loot is personal, does that mean it's still tradable?
Yeah, so it's only tradable if you own a piece of that same slot with higher item level. So, like, if you have a Titan Forged, like, helm, and then the regular version, you get a regular version, you can trade that regular version to your party.
So, does it have to be the exact item, or is it just comparing item level?
A piece of that same slot with higher item level.
Okay, so it could be a different, set of boots,
so.
but
yeah,
as long as the item level. Okay, so it's basically how it is now then.
Yep.
Okay, because a lot of people were saying, like, maybe they're going to change it so personal loot will be even more, like, stuck to you where you can't trade at all, because that would, completely kill any kind of split runs or whatnot. But it seems like it's like regular personal loot. So the problem here, I think, was for a lot of people with the Shackled Urzul, the mount for Mythic Argus, that the mount is automatically given to someone who does not have the mount. And in terms of personal loot, that would mean if you get it, obviously you don't have it already, so that means you won't be able to trade it. But they have now made it so it's tradable for everyone, right?
Right. So this was creating stress when guilds wanted to give the mount for a certain raider, or if someone doesn't want the mount and they get it by accident, then they can't trade it to a friend.
Exactly.
And it also was hurting guilds that were trying to sell mounts as well. So this has been hot fixed to be tradable.
I wonder what happened to people who were stuck with it. I'm sure if they didn't learn it, they could probably talk to a GM and have it fixed, probably.
Yeah.
But I wonder how they're going to do it with the future patches then, or like the future expansion. Does that mean it'll be fixed for all future raid mounts, or is it going to be forced to be for the people who get it first?
That would be... I mean, usually people want to do it as a prestige thing, like if you're the guild leader or you have like the most attendance, they want to reward those people, or else people could just like go in and ninja a mount and then leave.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like the mounts should be on... I would hope that they would be on personal loot moving forward as a rule. The Gul'dan mount was tradable on personal loot. Yeah. So it feels like maybe this was an oversight with the Urzul, or I don't know, something strange happened with it. But
I think it's because the looting system changed, because with Gul'dan, people who already had the mount could still loot it.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Actually, that might only be in group loot. I might be wrong there. It might not have been given to them in personal loot. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. So I'll take my comments back. Might be wrong. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I still feel like for raiding guilds, they should still have some kind of group loot, because this completely kills the idea of having loot council. And I kind of liked loot council. I mean, I don't really raid seriously myself anymore, but I like the idea of loot council. I do feel like people who are the strongest and most committed should be geared first, for the better of the guild. and to progress better and to make sure that your gear is not given to a random trial who's only there for one raid and then never comes back. I like the idea of loot council, and yeah, sure, you can still discuss with each other and give the loot to each other, but it feels like it leads to more complications. I feel like it's easier when it's just like, okay, this guy is the master looter and he will give this piece of loot to that player. So I'm concerned about this, but I guess we'll see what guilds do end up doing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Uldir progression, how that turns out. Especially because there are other issues with RNG gearing up, such as in your Mythic plus cash, there can be like between 1 and 3 items.
Oh, yeah.
So if you get something with 1 versus 3,
yeah.
Then you might be like, oh, I'm behind. I hope I get these items from the raid to drop, but it's not like people can funnel you as many items now to, offset that RNG. But yeah, that is what is new with personal loot. We also have some transmog clarifications. We covered this last week, I think, but Blizzard was trying to highlight it some more. With artifacts being transmoggable in the pre-patch, there's a lot of questions. So the first thing is that you can now transmog an artifact appearance to all characters on your account that are of that same class and specialization. But if you want to transmog the artifact appearance onto the artifact, you have to go back to the artifact forge because artifacts are complicated. But if you wanted to like transmog an heirloom, then you can just go to the transmog vendor on your alt of that same class and spec. You also can't, if you have an artifact appearance that's a pair, like the protection paladin, like flail and shield, you have to transmog both at once. You can't pick and choose one or the other. Let's see. Artifact weapons that come in pairs can be applied to two-hand weapons. So I think we gave examples last time of like, if you're a fire mage or a shadow priest and you use a staff, you can still have the main hand offhand appearance. There are some loosening of weapon restrictions just for artifacts, but others they're not crossing. For example, a melee weapon cannot look like an artifact gun. And you can't make a wand look like an artifact melee weapon, which kind of makes sense. And let's see. They wanted to remind people that when you are transmogrifying, you can right-click an appearance in the right part of the pane of the window and use transmogrify as. There is an option there for druid forms as a feral or guardian druid. I think a lot of people have been missing this. Yeah. When you go to that transmog window, you go to the top right, and when you go to the artifact weapons, there's a special option for feral and guardian transmog. And we are making some guides to make it easier to see what appearances are associated with the druid weapons, because I've heard a lot of feedback that some people really like a certain form, but the associated weapon tint doesn't really match their transmog. So it's
like when they're out of the form. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I like this black bear form, but my, it has like pink weapons, and that doesn't really go along with my, black armor set. So what do I do? So you need that compromise between the druid skins and a thematic color of the weapon.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do anything about that, because that's complicated, because then you don't want to just change the transmog, you want to change it to 2 transmogs in a way.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good question.
So we've also learned people have been discovering various things. The first cool thing is that Gelkis and Magrum Clan Centaur rep changes. Blizzard changed some things, and Exalted is now achievable. These are 2 centaur factions in Desolus, and now when you complete a short quest line starting with Behind Closed Doors, at the end of it you get a massive reputation boost. We're not sure if this is a bug or not, and this only works on characters that have not completed the quest before, but with everyone interested in 100 Exalted reputations for that new mount, people are you know, people are interested in getting every reputation that you know, matters.
So I logged in and checked out these quests, and it seems like I had already completed them,
Right.
but I don't have the reputations. Do you know why that
Right.
could be?
Oh, it's only if you haven't done it, then you get them.
Like,
So,
but I don't have the reputations at all. Is it normal that I've done
huh.
the quests, but I never unlocked the reputations?
Huh. So apparently the reputation gain should stop at one point below revered. Um,
Yeah, I don't have them at all. Like, it's not even on my character.
with the world changes in Cataclysm, the reputations are no longer obtainable. So if you started playing, if this was a character after Cataclysm, it wouldn't have shown up.
No, the character is from Wrath of the Lich King, but I don't remember this reputation, and I can't see it in my reputation tab. And when I tried to look at the quests, it looked like I'd already completed them.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just a random question I just asked now. But yeah, if you guys do have the reputation and you are missing some to get to Exalted, go and check out these quests. You may have them available, and if you do, you will become Exalted with them.
Yep.
We don't know if this is intentional or if this will be removed, but or changed. But it does give a huge boost to your reputation, so I would recommend checking it out.
Yeah. We posted this over 8 hours ago, and it still appears to be working. So,
yeah. I feel like by now, like Blizzard would know, and I guess they think it's okay. But it feels like for people who, you know, may have had the reputation at one below revered, like you mentioned, and already done the quests, maybe they should give an option for those people to also complete it.
yeah, they could throw like a little, I don't know, special thing in,
Daily
like,
or
oh,
anything.
you know, like, thanks for your help back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
now
exactly.
with all the changes, the centers want to give you a token of their respect.
Yeah.
Something.
Like a new final quest.
Yeah. So,
More fun.
yeah, I'll let you have this one with
More fun or not so fun undocumented things is the chromatic sword. And for those of you guys who don't know, I actually bought the chromatic sword a month ago or so, maybe a bit more than that. And I paid 3 million and 1 TCG mount for it, averaging, or which equals around 6 million worth of gold. And this I thought was a great deal, and it was a great deal until yesterday, where it was found out that the chromatic sword has started dropping again in the game. So yeah, if you're interested in chromatic sword, do not spend 6 million on it. Instead, go and farm. What's he called? Was it Scale Belly?
Yeah.
Scale
my
Belly.
screen is bright white for a second because I'm opening up the sword on the Undermine journal, and you can see the price starting to tumble in the past few days as people are now trying to farm this. So
Yep.
the US median price is over 7 million. And then you can see that the current regional prices have gone from a high of 10 million, and now it's in the market price has gone a bit farther down. To like 100,000 even on some realms. So
100,000. Oh wow.
yeah.
Ouch. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, the 6 million was a good deal at the time. Let's not feel too bad about it. It's actually funny. Like because of this sudden news, I'm suddenly getting new traffic to my YouTube video where I'm like proudly mentioning that I got it for 6 million.
Yeah, silver lining.
All my comments now are like, "Lil, it's dropping now. It's in the game," and I'm just like, "Yep, I know." So I'm getting more notifications about those than any other YouTube video.
Well, yeah, good for you.
6 million gold for some YouTube traffic. There it is. But yeah, this sword was very special because it was unobtainable since Cataclysm, I believe. And what's also really cool about this sword, which made me interested in it, even though my warlock cannot even equip it, is that it's a really cool, colorful, sort of rainbowy color on it. You may not see it if you play the game at lower quality, but if you turn it up with the particle density, I think is the setting that you need to turn up, you can see how there's different colors. And I thought that looked so cool, and that's why I wanted to go for it. So the sword we're talking about is the chromatic sword. It now drops from Scale Belly, and it was not obtainable for, what is it now, almost 10 years, 8 years,
Right.
something
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, it's back in the game. It doesn't mean that it's common now. It's still very rare, but the reason
And the
why
mob has a 1 hour respawn timer.
yeah, the mob has a 1 hour respawn timer ish. I think it's between 30 minutes and 90 minutes. I'm not sure. But the drop rate is still rare, but the amount of people farming it is what's helping the price of it go down so much.
Yeah, like you look in game, it's like, oh, like here's a massive amount of people.
Yeah, people are creating groups and everything everywhere to farm this.
Yeah. But yeah, very cool sword, and I believe some other unobtainable drops that are interesting but not as coveted are also returning with these changes.
For example, the jewel dagger, also a drop from a rare in this one in Elven Forest, is also back in the game.
Yep.
So it's not as it wasn't as wanted as the chromatic sword, but it was still pretty expensive. You know, like at least 600,000-700,000, maybe even up to 1 million on certain servers. But now it's also obtainable again.
Yep.
And yeah, what people are doing is basically standing on these spawn points and just spamming any kind of AoE abilities. Monks have the I forgot what it's called. Something Jade Wind, I believe, where they just stand still and they have this aura that does damage every 0.6 seconds.
Oh,
and
that's handy for that.
Yeah, that's currently the best way to get the tag.
Yep.
Rushing Jade Wind. Thank you, guys. That's it. So if you're a monk, or if you have a monk ult and you want to farm this, then go on your monk is what I would recommend. Rushing Jade Wind, and you will probably be the first one to tag it.
Yeah. So another cool thing related to transmog is that in the Legion beta, a Slayer's Tabard was data mined and then removed, and now it is finally back and available for sale in the pre-patch. If you are a demon hunter, you can buy this from Falara Nightsong in the order hall for 100 gold, and it shows up if you have completed the class hall campaign. So that's the initial campaign, not the class mount part of the campaign. And many NPCs are wearing this tabard, and it looks like a nicer version of the green trophy tabard of the Illidari, and it matches the starter Demon Hunter set very well. So
I like it. The green is very strong, very bright.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I was going to ask something. Oh, yeah. So if you've unlocked the Demon Hunter mount, that means that you've done enough quests, right?
Yeah, you've done more than enough quests.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to know, because that's what I was wondering. Like, did I complete the class hall campaign? I mean, I did complete the mount part, everything I needed for the mount, so I probably did. So there you go. There's confirmation. If you have the Demon Hunter mount, then you're good to go on that character to go and buy it.
Yep. This next topic, I feel people... it's been misreported a little bit. The battle chest has been removed, and you just need to subscribe to level to 110 in Legion. But I feel a lot of reporting has been like, don't pay for an expansion, like just subscribe to level, which is true for now, but not if you go back and read that article in a month. So
True.
basically, we're in this weird transition period, and normally you have to buy the base game, the current expansion, and a subscription. And Blizzard has removed that base game component, so you don't have to buy like the base game up to Warlords and then Legion and then subscribe. So they removed the base game. So right now you just have to subscribe to level in Legion. But when BFA hits, you still need to pay for that current expansion. So it's changed some stuff around. You can purchase Battle for Azeroth for $49.99. They do still have a kind of confusing entry on the shop called the Complete Collection, but it's not really a complete collection. It's just Battle for Azeroth and 30 games of game time as a new player deal.
Oh, okay.
So I found that kind of confusing because there's no collection. It's the same as Battle for Azeroth. What am I getting here?
Yeah.
And as part of this, with the base game removed, the Recruit a Friend rewards have been updated. So the old requirements were, if your friend, aka yourself, if you want the mount or pet, purchases a full copy of WoW and pays for a month of subscription time, you get 30 days of game time free. And that's just been changed to if your friend pays for 2 months of game time, you get the month free. And then old was if you pay for 2 months of game time, you again get the choice of your epic in-game mount or special pet. And then for the new thing is you need to pay for 3 months of game time. So I think how the math works out, if there's no sales going on, the new version is a bit cheaper. But if there's ever a deal like, oh, you know, base game 75% off, then the old way would work out to be slightly cheaper if you waited for that deal.
Yeah. I think this makes it easier for people, makes it more accessible. Like, you don't have to think about what you need to buy that much. It's just the base game and then the current expansion. And you would not need the current expansion if you are just leveling. And then you could, by the time you reach 110, that's when you can think about whether you want to or not. And if you have leveled all the way to 110, then you probably want to buy the expansion.
Right.
But yeah, it's it gives a little bit more freedom in that sense.
Yeah, it's also like if you've never played WoW and just want to try it out, you don't need to buy
a bunch of games. Yeah.
You don't need to make a like $50 investment. You can just make a $15 trial investment.
Yeah. And I think it's less scary as well. Like, if you think about, like, okay, if I buy this and this, then I need to think about subscription. I need to buy the base game and, like, this expansion, but I don't need the last expansion. It can be confusing, but this way it's a lot cleaner.
Yep. So the next thing we are going to discuss are Awakening Essences. We discussed this briefly at the start of the show as to things that you should do when you first log in. Blizzard is making 2 big changes. Well, I guess 3 this week. The first was that you can buy specific legendaries with Awakening Essences, as well as the random tokens if you have all essences for a spec. The second thing is that old sources of artifact power now award Awakening Essences going forward, including World Quest, Class Hall missions, the Elite Strike one that used to give the big AP token, your weekly cash. And this week, because of some coding error or some bug in general to loot, everyone gets a free 1,000 Awakening Essences.
I noticed on my Warlock that I could buy, since I have all the legendaries, or maybe it's available to everyone, I'm not sure, I can decide which class legendary I want to buy. Like, class legendary as in I can choose to buy for example, a monk legendary, and then I can send it to my monk.
Yep. So that is part of that whole system. And it makes sense. So, you know, people are interested in what legendaries are powerful for leveling. And they do work through 115. And there are some fun OP interactions we'll be posting later where it's like, oh, well, this legendary is now a talent in Battle for Azeroth, but as you're leveling, you can have, like, the talent and the legendary and do mega DPS. So there are some fun interactions there that people might be interested in if they want to make the leveling experience be smooth.
Yep.
And
I think that's it for undocumented things in the game right now.
Yeah.
So,
we also have some other interesting
news.
Yeah, unrelated to the pre-patch. The first thing is that normal Argus has been defeated with a group of only Discipline Priests. This was put together by, obviously, the Discipline Priest community, which is, you know, their home is Focused Will. And they did some heroic bosses as well as some normal bosses, and it was very, Agrimar and Argus are, you know, pretty impressive. In the past, we've talked about, like, all tanks being able to clear some bosses, but obviously priests are a bit squishier. You do get massive heals, but they are, you know, not a tank. So it was, you know, fun things like, you know, putting power word shield on cooldown on the tank with so many Discipline Priests.
Yep.
Fade swapping to remove threat to ping pong the threat around. You know, using 20 penances at once.
Yep.
Looks funny as well. So yeah, that was sort of a fun, like, last hurrah of Legion project, and well done.
Yeah, good job, guys. It's always fun seeing these, like, unconventional, I guess you could call it, ways of beating things at the end of the expansion. Like, we mentioned this a couple weeks back as well, and we had some other, like, smaller groups defeat heroic Agrimar, for example. It's always fun to see these sort of new ways of beating things, just just because, for the fun of it.
Yeah. We have some merchandise news. San Diego Comic-Con takes place July 19th, which is today, through July 22nd. And as a result, several Blizzard convention exclusives are making their debut. Blizzard has been moving in past years to not make stuff just available at SDCC, but have some stuff that will be available at, like, BlizzCon and Gamescom and other conventions they have a presence at, so it's not as much of a stampede to get. The notable item for World of Warcraft is a Banshee Sylvanas and a Holy Light Anduin set of cute but deadly figurines.
I've got the Sylvanas one here, showing now, and I'll get the Anduin one in a second.
Every year they tend to do kind of a glowy, translucent figurine. Like in the past, they've done Zeratul and hold on, let me look at my shelf.
They always looked similar to this kind of style.
Yeah, they have a Diablo one. One sec, let me pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, I actually haven't seen these before. I never knew about this convention before. So this is the Sylvanas one, and this is the Anduin one.
So, here we go. So, I have taken down the Diablo one, which you can see is this good? Can you guys see it?
Now they can.
Cool.
It's a little bit too bright. Can you maybe bring it a little bit closer? Yeah, and closer. Turn it down a bit. Higher up, but like turn it down to not reflect the light.
How do I do that?
Can you see yourself?
Okay, let me turn.
That's better. That's better. Yeah.
Okay. So
let me bring you up bigger. There we go.
Yep. So this is the Diablo Comic-Con exclusive from a few years ago. You can see it's like spectral and blue, and Nightmare edition. So yeah, it's kind of, I guess, in the similar vein of like spectral translucent figures. So
has there been any others, or is it just the Diablo one?
I have a Zeratul. One sec. Let me set up again.
Perk doing all this work for us.
Why are you in the way?
Perk has all the cool stuff. Yeah, so that was the Diablo version. I can show you guys the new ones again. So this was the Anduin one, and that was the Sylvanas one.
Okay, so we've got these two, and I'm coming. One sec.
Honestly, I like the Sylvanas one better than Anduin.
All right, so we have the Illidan one.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And he's kind of purple.
Uh-huh.
And well, it's kind of black. That's why he's hard to see. Purple black. We have this Zeratul, who's bright white.
Oh.
And then this is after Blizzard started doing the convention exclusives, not SDCC. You can see the sticker's different. This is Sombra.
A bit higher up. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, with this one you can clearly see how the face is in similar style of these new ones.
Yeah, I think she's the closest to
Yeah,
Sylvanas.
yeah.
So, so yeah, I've got a few of them. Hopefully I can get my hands on the Sylvanas Anduin one as well. And there's a lot of Overwatch merch. Like there is a cute but deadly diva with her mech. There's a Funko Pop Junkrat and Roadhog Jailbird 2-pack. There's a Goldamari mini plush. There is a Funko Pop exclusive of Grillmaster Soldier 76. There's some Blizzard World ticket art. And a lot more things. And Christy Golden will also be signing July 21st from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I've also seen some maps circulating around from press night, but haven't been able to confirm, of even more options being available, like I don't know, like even more figurines or like, you know, Alliance and Horde shirts, stuff like that. So if there's ever a good picture of that, I will add that to the post and re-social, because there's usually a few more things than just what we've listed here.
If you guys want to see the post to see all the different things in packages, I have linked it in the chat now. So are these going to be exclusive to this event, or because I think I read somewhere that they would probably be available at BlizzCon as well?
So going back to the Somber one, how it has like that different sticker, I believe most of these will be Blizzard convention exclusives.
Yeah.
The only thing that probably wouldn't be is like, remember PAX East Blizzard had that two-sided Burning of Teldrassil print, and that was limited. I think that everything is a convention exclusive until right, Paw, don't knock them over. Come on. Everything is convention exclusive where Blizzard has a presence, unless otherwise explicitly stated.
Okay.
Oh no, he's really upset. Oh no.
Oh, he's got way too much energy today to stand still, or to sit still even.
Yep.
All right, but yeah, there's some cute plushies in there, or not plushies, figurines rather.
Yeah, there's plushies too, like the Pachimari is cute.
That's true.
So.
That one is a plushie. Yeah. That is true.
Blizzard has also put up the collector's edition for Battle for Azeroth for pre-order on the Blizzard Gear Store. This is the first time you can actually buy it on the Gear Store. Before it was just on places like Amazon. This is only on the US version of the Gear Shop. And just to recap, you get this pretty box. You get a novella for the Alliance and Horde covering Teldrassil, which I assume we'll be having to see pretty soon, because the novella will also be posted online. They've announced that. There's a fancy medallion coin that shows the Alliance and the Horde. There are in-game mounts and pets. Overwatch has a lot of sprays and emotes, and Hearthstone has a card back, and Brightpaw's trying to turn the camera off. And Heroes has a mount, and StarCraft has some stuff as well, very detailed stuff. People were also concerned that the medallion was small, so Blizzard uploaded a picture of the medallion with a banana for scale. And everyone's like, I want the banana. Like, is this part of the collector's edition? Why is there a banana on the shop?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the collector's edition. The timing is also interesting as well, because I feel that when people announce the collector's edition in advance, it tends to like sell out or people forget about it. So this is a good way if maybe you've come back for the pre-patch and you are inspired to show your pride and get the edition. Now you can. And finally, Brightpaw, stop.
Yeah, exciting
finally,
news for Wowhead.
Yeah, Wowhead has launched a Design by Humans shop with multiple designs. So Design by Humans is a great storefront that lets you take designs and apply them to all sorts of merchandise, ranging from t-shirts to more premium style shirts to, you know, hoodies, sweatshirts, phone cases, stickers, and I know a lot of people like mugs. And we have 5 designs in a variety of styles to appeal to different audiences. We have a classic logo. We have a Battle for Azeroth logo. We have ones for mount and pet collectors, showing the top most looked up mounts and pets on the site. And we have a more silly one where Anduin is blowing a horn into Sylvanas' ear, and she's not very amused.
Yep.
All of the profits from this will directly support the site. So if you want to contribute in a different way than Wowhead Premium, or you aren't really interested in the benefits Premium offers, but you would like to get a shirt for your support or a mug instead of, you know, just a digital reward, this is a fun way to support. And we will also be launching in the upcoming months a collectible pins and plushie line as well, including a pin of Brightpaw. Why did you do that? A pin of Pepe dressed up with the Wowhead rocket.
Yeah, I have to show you guys that one, actually. I didn't include it in the show at first, but I have to show it.
Yep.
Here. I can't wait to get it. Here. So we've got... Pepe dressed up as a Wowhead rocket, as a pin. My sneak peek? Maybe. But yeah, so this is one of the pins that is not available right now, right? But will be hopefully in the near future. And they were made by someone called, I may say this wrong, but T. Sepish.
Yeah, Sepish is the one who came up with the idea for Demon Hunter Pepe. She did fan art and Blizzard liked it so much they put it in the game. Right, Paw? No. And then, oh my god, he's typing in developer chat. Right, Paw, stop. So she is the artist of the pins. As for the shirts, the pet and mount collectors were done by Lady Rosse. And the meme one, right, Paw, oh my god, was done by Skyla Newman, and I believe we've featured them previously on Wowhead's Artist Corner.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's some really cool stuff there. And I like how you guys included extra stuff as well, not just t-shirts, like you mentioned mugs. Like I'm personally one of those people who like having like cool mugs, you know, for the occasional tea that I have. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Shirts, mugs, and everything. Oh, I see the text final call for giveaway. So people in the chat, if you want to be included in this pin giveaway, you just type pins in the chat.
Yep. So we would like to launch more designs in a variety of art styles and subjects. So if this, shop goes well, we will consider expanding it. We hope that you like the launch of our shop. It has taken a lot of effort on several of our parts.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, do we have any questions lined up?
We have a few questions. Someone is asking about WoW Token not on the Wowhead page and if that's intentional. We don't know, but we're checking in with that. Aegis is asking if there's a chance that Blizzard will edit the current set bonuses. For example, some reference abilities that no longer exist. And we're not sure because set bonuses aren't really a thing in Battle for Azeroth. And Paloof asked, any idea when communities will be available in EU? I think Blizzard has been careful not to give any hard confirmations on that. But I think they're making sure it's stable on US first, and they'll be sure to, post about that as soon as they have more info. I'm just checking the Q&A notes again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if EU gets it, like, maybe tomorrow or something, since NA got it today. And we need, as the joke goes, we need NA to beta test things for us. So, we'll probably get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I see that on North American Realms, whenever the first person in a guild logged on and had to convert the guild in the communities feature, it made things grind to a halt. So today's maintenance restarts are working towards re-enabling the communities feature.
We had a short maintenance time last night too, but I'm not sure what that changed.
Right.
I don't think anything except probably stability things. So maybe tomorrow, maybe after tonight's maintenance. I'm guessing there will be a short one probably.
Okay. But yeah, that's basically it as far as questions. Do we have a winner, Sass?
We have a winner called Oz5Tor, and it looks like he has not responded yet. So Oz, if you are listening, if you just type something in the chat to claim it, the pin will be yours. I noticed a question from someone asking about Teldrassil. Teldrassil questline will be split into two parts. One part will start after the maintenance next week, and one part will be the maintenance after that. So Tuesday for NA and Wednesday for EU.
Yep. Or maybe they'll do some surprise thing and be like, we have crazy tech to push it live on a Sunday. Who knows?
You never know. That's actually a good point. Maybe they'll push at the same time, because the BFA expansion will be at the same time, so maybe.
Yeah.
Apparently time's up, so we have a new winner, and the next winner is called Maziel. Congratulations, Maziel. Hopefully you're here to claim your prize. You can either whisper Sass or just type something in the Twitch chat. And Brightpaw is crazy. I see those teeth, Brightpaw.
I know.
I see those teeth.
I know. He's been killing, not to get too gross, but because there's been a heat wave, it's been 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Some bugs have been coming inside, and because there's been a heat wave, a lot of air conditioning units have been breaking on my block. So if you are a bug, my house is like a very nice, cool place to be.
Yeah.
So usually Brightpaw is all in predatory mode because he's like killing all these things for me, and he's so proud, but it's not as good when he's gnawing on my arm.
Is he still bringing the bugs to you, like in his mouth?
He's not doing that directly, but he's trying to kill the bug in my line of sight, which is probably good because I want to make sure it's dead. I want to make sure he's not like, I don't know, let it go and it's wandered off to live another day.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
all
he
right,
woke me
Maziel
up
claimed it.
last night with it. Yay, Maziel.
Congratulations.
A much happier topic than my bug dilemma. I actually have an exterminator coming tomorrow, and I need to be out of the house for 4 hours along with the cat, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the cat. So I was like, do I rent a hotel? Do I just like wheel him around in a stroller for 4 hours? I don't know what to do.
Oh, wow. Wait, is it okay for you to be in that?
No, we both have to.
You both have to go somewhere. Yeah. Yes. Oh, wow.
So, maybe
book a hotel.
Yeah, book a hotel and just have him run around. Brightpaw, let go of my arm. Come on.
I actually had 2 wasps come in last night while I was streaming. It was awful.
Scared.
Not at the same time, luckily. And the second one just disappeared by itself. I think it must have flown out.
Are you seeing this? He's got both of my hands in his paws.
I can see it.
He is insane.
Look at those bites.
I know, baby. I'm your friend. I feed you and buy you toys.
Look at those
I'm
teeth.
not a bug. What are you doing, my little cat?
That's adorable. But yeah, I believe that actually sums up all the new content and new things for us to talk about for the night or for the afternoon or for the morning. Depends where you live. Oh. Wait, did he just DC perk?
He
no.
like...
You're back. Or not? Uh-oh. Brightpaw is breaking things. Oh, there we go. Perk is back now.
I totally blame him.
Yeah, there's some instability going on now. You're like going on and off, which is funny because the whole night you've been 100% fine.
Oh, well, maybe it's a good time to stop then.
Okay, it seems stable now. Stable now.
Yep.
Yeah, every time I say she's back, she freezes again. I'm just not going to say that you're back. Perk, you're still lagging, okay? You're not back. Not at all.
Oh.
No, you're fine.
Sad. Good, Brightpaw. Good.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for watching Wowhead Weekly, our Thursday evenings as usual, or afternoons or mornings. Everyone who's here, all the new subscribers, all the re-subscribers, and also everyone who is following the stream, everyone who's watching on the Wowhead front page, everyone who is supporting in one way or another. Thank you to all of you guys. We will be back next week. Yeah, re-subscribers. We will be back next week, same time, and hopefully there's no Q&A or anything that will delay the show, and we will hopefully start exactly on time and cover anything that happens between now and then. Who knows? Maybe by next show we'll know exactly what happens to Teldrassil.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just so anxious thinking about the city going away. I'm mega anxious. Yeah.
I've had some mean people come to my chat and be like, yeah, I'm happy the tree is burning. And I'm like,
no,
it's not nice. That's not nice. But yeah, thank you everyone for supporting and hanging out. And we will see you guys next week. You want to try a high five?
Yeah, we'll try. So it's this way.
A little bit lower.
Okay.
A little bit higher. Yeah.
Okay. Yay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. One, two, three.
We did it. Kind of.
We did not, but we can. Let's try again.
Okay. All right. You do the countdown.
You do the countdown.
Okay.
Since you're delayed, so I'll just follow you.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yay!
We did it. All right. See you guys next time. If you have a question that you did not get to ask, don't be shy and just comment on YouTube, and we will take care of it next time instead. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.